Okay, perfect. We're all back. So I'm going to continue this discussion. Sachi had put something in the chat box that yes, the caste system was not meant to divide people, but has been misinterpreted. I think you mentioned something of this sort. Sachi here, yes. Okay, so let me get back to the screen. Right. Are you all able to see the PowerPoint? Okay, perfect. Thank you. So this three modes based on a person's quality, inherent quality, and what kind of work he does. He is divided, he gets categorized into one of the four classes of men. Okay. The Brahmanas are supposed to be the intellectual people who deal with majorly academia, learning and teaching is what the Brahmanas did. Okay. And then you had the Kshatriyas, who were the warriors. Okay. They protected the nation against enemies, let's say. Okay. The defense system, the warriors. Then we had the Vaishyas, the businessmen, the people who were well versed, in doing business. They came into the Vaishya class, and then you had the Shudras, which were the labor class. So these were based on the people's individual preferences, their qualities, and the type of work they did, not based on where they were born or which family they were born in. So this whole system of demonizing, or let's say, making the caste system appear very bad and superstitious, it all happened after we were invaded, to put it very simply. So what we should know, since this is a part of our Vedic tradition, in the Vedas, it's never described that caste system is based on birth, based on birth, sorry. And Lord Krishna has never described it like that. Okay. I hope that should clear the air about the caste system. And what do you think about this? There are different paths that can take us to different places. Is it possible that all paths will lead to the same destination? Is it possible? Yes or no? Pranav says, I think yes, because he's nodding. All paths lead to the same destination. Okay. 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 So what does Lord Krishna say here? Ye yatha mam prapadyante tams tathaiva bhajamiham mama vartmanu vartante manushya partha sarvasham. As all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Pritha. So Lord Krishna says, in whatever state of mind you may be, if someone says, who are you? You're feeling lost, confused, unsure, unclear, and perplexed. Still, Krishna accepts you. If you say, who is God? Someone says that, I don't know. Someone says, I don't know whether God exists. I need proof. That person is also considered to be on the spiritual path. A person says, I don't believe in God. That person is also considered to be on the spiritual path. A person says, I have firm faith that God exists. That person is also considered to be in the spiritual path. So everybody is on that path, but everybody is in different levels of understanding. That's all, right? So that's how the Hindu tradition and the religion sees people. So everybody is included, everybody is accepted. There is no question of non-acceptance or intolerance. Let me not get into very controversial words, but that's how it is. So, okay, before I come to this part of the slide, okay, I shouldn't have shown that. So, karma. What is karma? Last session was about karma, isn't it? So, what did you understand? What is karma? If you had to describe it in a phrase or a word. In the chat box, please. And if you want to unmute, you can do that. Go ahead. Karma is fate. Okay. Okay.
Karma is action.
Karma is action, Pranav says. Okay. Kartikeya says reaction to your actions is karma. Okay. Okay, actions. Okay, the actions that we do, Indumati says. Okay, okay, right. So we describe karma as actions. And how many types of karma are there? From what we know of, what we have heard of, or what we know. What can be, how many types of karma are there, and what are those? And don't worry, I did not tell you this in the last class. We are going to see this today. So, okay, I see something in the chat box. One's present actions determine one's future destiny. नहीं इतना कॉम्प्लिकेटेड नहीं है अभी ये. मैंने बस पूछा दो टाइप ऑफ कर्मा क्या है. Prashant, the enlightened being, always has futuristic answers. But the question is very simple. Actions and responses. Oh, Shachi Raval, आपको तो आंसर पता है, तो आप चुप रहो. Shachi has given me the exact correct answer, the types of karma. Kartikeya, good and bad. I think this is the notion that we usually have. There are two types of actions. Good actions or punya, okay, and bad actions or papa, sins. Good deeds and sins. This is what we usually know. But in this chapter, one new type of karma springs up, okay, which is called akarma. So karma means action, okay. So in Sanskrit, if you put this prefix of a, it means non. So akarma essentially means non-action. But what does this really suggest? Now, is it possible for us, having this body as a living entity, is it possible for us to do no action at all? Is there a possibility? Even if you go sit in a place not doing anything apparently, is it a state of complete doing nothing, completely doing nothing? Is that a possibility? Okay. That's not a possibility, you know. Even if you virtually appear to be sitting there idle, doing nothing, eyes closed, full meditation, everything, but still you're still breathing, your digestive system is working, actions are still going on. So it's described in the Bhagavad Gita that for an embodied living entity, it's impossible to be in a state of complete non-action. It's just not possible. You will have to perform some kind of the action, some or other kind of action. So even the most intelligent people are bewildered in determining what is actually action and what is inaction. Inaction means complete non-action. There's no action at all. So what do we mean by akarma then? Akarma is essentially we are performing some actions, but we are free from the reactions to those actions or from the fruits of those actions. So it's reactionless action is what is akarma. Okay? So now I shall explain to you what action is, knowing which you shall be liberated from all kinds of misfortune. Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna that I'm going to tell you about akarma. How can you perform actions and still be free from the results of those actions? How is that possible? We're going to see here. So if you have to define karma, and this is a very important definition of karma, how would you define it? It is action pertaining to the development of material bodies of living entities. What do I mean by that? The action which you perform and as a result of which you continue to get material bodies. Could be in any species in the evolutionary spectrum, but you continue to get material bodies as a result of these actions. These are called karma in general, okay? But now this karma itself has been divided in the Bhagavad Gita into three types, okay? The first one is what we know as karma. We'll see what it means. Karma, if you see the word just karma, it essentially means some good deeds which are in accordance with the scriptures on the righteous path. You are doing some deeds which are believed to be good, like this girl is giving food and charity to someone. So you will end up getting some good rewards out of it. So that is called as karma. Okay. From now on, before this we said action is karma. From now on, when you look at the three types of karma, we have karma, vikarma, and akarma. Okay. So what did I say? Karma was good deeds or good actions, right? So what is vikarma now? Any guesses? You can guess with that picture. What do you think vikarma is? Oh, you have to rush through the slides again. I see something in the chat box. Bad deeds. Yes. What do we mean by bad deeds? Deeds or actions which are not in accordance with the righteous path or what is given in the scriptures. Actions which are not in accordance with what is given in the scriptures are called as vikarma, okay, which will give us essentially a bad result. Then what is akarma now? Like we discussed, we touched upon this in the last session, I think. Akarma is when you are performing actions, but not to satisfy yourself, okay? Not to gain some pleasure for your own self, but you are doing something and offering that action and its rewards to God. Then, see, now because you're offering it, you're not going to receive the rewards of those. You do not have to undergo the results of those actions, basically. That is akarma. When you offer your actions and the results to God. Okay. Now, to understand this, how can we think of it? Now, a soldier works for the army, right? A soldier works for the army. So if the soldier kills someone, is it a good deed or a bad deed? Who is liable for this? Is the soldier himself liable? Kartikeya says it's a good deed. Why? Why is it a good deed? And is the soldier responsible? Will it be called a murder and will he be charged for that murder? If he kills an enemy soldier who was firing at the line of control, let's say, if he kills a terrorist on the LOC, will this soldier be punished, penalized for murder?
No, obviously, if he's killing a terrorist, I don't think he'll be punished. But again, it depends on who he kills and what is the motivation behind his action. The motivation behind his karma. And
no, but a soldier on duty has killed an enemy. So will he be charged for murder? Yes or no?
Then he cannot be charged for murder because he has been like assigned that duty by the army.
Yeah, perfect, exactly. Why? Because he is working for the army, right? So a devotee is essentially a person who works for God and who works according to the principles given in the scriptures, follows the instructions given by God. So if such a person, while discharging his duties, performs some actions, the results of those actions, who is liable for it? It is God who becomes liable for it, okay? Who takes the rewards or results of whatever actions we perform, right? So whatever the soldier does is in accordance with what the army has trained him to do, and is for the interest of the country in general, the army in general, isn't it? Not for himself, not for his personal interest. So whatever he does on the battlefield, whatever he does, whether he kills several terrorists, he throws a grenade, whether he saves someone, everything, the results of all of those, who is liable to bear those results? It's the army, right? Chief of the army, isn't it? So that's how it is. A person who works for God, who offers everything to God, this person becomes free from the reactions to his actions because he is now working for God and not for his personal interest, right? So that is how akarma works. So again, this is a summary slide of what akarma, karma, and vikarma, how are they different? Akarma is performed for whom? All acts are done for Krishna. All acts are done for God. What is karma? You do it for yourself, basically. Work with attachment. I am going to, let's say you buy yourself something. Why you are buying yourself a particular dress? Because you want to wear it and look great and feel happy. That's it. So it's for your own satisfaction that you're doing it. So that is work with attachment. Why? You're before buying the dress itself, you're expecting your own happiness. You're attached to that happiness. So it's work with attachment. What is vikarma? Vikarma is also work with attachment. Somebody kills someone else, murders someone else. Not in accordance with the scriptures, is working for nobody. He just his, what to say, insanity. Why? Because he feels happy after he murders someone. So again, there is attachment there. What's the attitude here in akarma? There's no desire to satisfy yourself for your sense gratification. There's no desire. But when you do karma and vikarma, what's the attitude? Karma, you do things according to the shastras, but still expecting some result out of it, some happiness or some kind of material gain. What is vikarma? You do it against the Vedic injunctions, obviously for material gain. And the result? When you do akarma, when there's no personal motivation or interest, when you're doing it for God, then you do not become liable to experience any results of those actions. And God bestows you with happiness. Okay? And this happiness is not this fleeting happiness. Stays, it's transcendental happiness. But when you do karma, you get a good reaction. You might get happiness for a very short time and it's gone again. You have to do something again, be happy. Okay? Vikarma, again, you might become happy, but you have a bad reaction to it. Eventually, you will have to bear the consequences. So where all do you bear the consequences? Both with good actions and bad actions, you have to bear the consequences. But when you work for Krishna, when you work for God, you neither have to bear the good nor the bad. Okay? You bear only that which God bestows upon you, and that is not going to be a consequence. Okay? It's something that you can really experience and enjoy. It's not something that you have to, bear the consequences of. Okay. Sorry if I might sound a little confusing here, but this is the summary slide for the difference between akarma, karma, and vikarma. Okay. Right. Okay, Kartikeya has a very interesting question. What if you believe that you're doing something for the bad, but in reality, you are doing it for yourself? Example, the military ordered a soldier to kill a terrorist. Oh my God, we're almost time. Okay. Okay, I'll come back to your question, Kartikeya, once we are done with this. So, this is your quiz question for the day. Okay, we are starting with a live quiz right now. I want all of you to get your chat boxes. Okay, quickly. First question is, there are three common options for all the questions here. Okay, the answer can either be karma, vikarma, or akarma. Okay, I want you to type the answer. Question number 1, I spend my salary in purchasing a new PlayStation. Is this karma, vikarma, or akarma? Okay. See a lot of answers. Okay. Impressive. No contradictions. Acha, enlightened being Prashant has put the answers before everyone else. Okay. Second question, I pick up 10 pounds from a beggar's. Sorry, that's a beggar. It's not a beggar. From a beggar's plate in a bus station. So is this karma, vikarma, or akarma? Okay. See, very unanimous answers, which is very good. All right. And the third one, I purchase 10 pounds worth food and give it to a hungry child. I think this is debatable. Kartikeya says karma, Saumi says karma. Okay. Priya says it can either be karma or akarma. But I need one answer. Which do you think is the most appropriate? I purchase 10 pounds worth food and give it to a hungry child. Okay. iPhone, is iPhone Lalita auntie? I think it's her. Okay. Okay, Arushi says karma. Fine. So answer is suspense. I'm going to put it in the WhatsApp group tonight. Okay. Shachi has a very correct answer. Depending on the intention. Okay. Depending on the intention. Correct. So if this person is doing this, giving this 10 pounds worth of food to this hungry child because he wants to show 10 other people. There are people nowadays, making videos for social media. I went and donated 1,000 pounds to this person, it's kind of creating their own brand of this charitable person. Why are they doing this? So that they can get social media followers, they can be happy, they can get a status. So the intention behind that is different. But another person sees this hungry child, decides to donate because the child is hungry and he really needs help and he's helpless. That's why they decide to donate. So there's no personal motivation. The actual interest is to help the child. Yes, Pranav, you want to say something?
So I have a question here. I am donating for my self-satisfaction because I am feeling good out of the donation. Would that be considered akarma or karma? There is some amount of self-satisfaction and self-gratification there, but the intention is noble.
I'll answer that question. Now you don't care what the other person will experience once you donate. All you bother about is your own self-satisfaction. So what should it be? You tell me.
Karma.
It should be karma, right? So what is your motive? Is it selfish?
What if it is combined?
What if it's just combined? Partial. See, akarma, you can call it akarma only when completely free from self-interest. You're doing it for God. Okay? You're doing it to satisfy God. God has told you to help others. That's why you're helping. As your duty, you're executing something as duty. Then it's a karma. You're executing it, it's your duty, but you're expecting that little happiness that you'll get. You'll get a mixture of results. It's all entirely dependent on our intentions, right? So yes, I hope that answered your question, Pranav. Perfect. Coming back to surrender. So our attitude, our emotion, our bhava, our intention behind doing things becomes so important in the dynamics of karma. Sorry, I know we're hitting the deadline for this session. I'll take 5 minutes more, like usual. Sorry. So what is surrender? Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master who's come in the disciplic succession, who has received the knowledge from a qualified, bona fide source. Inquire from him submissively. It's never in our culture that we challenge the person who is trying to deliver a message. Never. Especially when he's a qualified person, we inquire from him submissively, humbly, and render service unto him. The self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. So this is something that you can think about for more time, give it some time. It does not sink in very quickly. Yes, Karthikeya, I'll come back to your questions. See it in the chat box. So what's the importance of gaining this knowledge from a guru or a qualified spiritual master? So by the grace of this spiritual master, he has seen the truth. So we do not fall into illusion again. Okay. If we were not understanding something, the spiritual master makes sure that we do not fall into illusion again. We cross the ocean of miseries, and the support of this spiritual master destroys our sinful reactions that we have gathered. Prashant had put in the chat box, prarabdha. There are further some divisions of karma, which I will not get into. So those kind of sinful reactions are destroyed by the grace of the spiritual master. So who can and cannot achieve this kind of knowledge? Faithful, dedicated disciple who can control his senses. Okay? Might seem that we cannot control our senses, but if we follow the instructions that are given to us, we eventually develop the ability to. Right? A person who is ignorant, faithless, doubtful about things given in the scriptures, who is coming to challenge everything. So that kind of person is very difficult for he or she to understand what is being told, this eternal knowledge. This is about an overview of our 4th chapter. It's called the Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. What's this eternal knowledge? Who can acquire it? And from where do we get this knowledge? And why does Lord Krishna come? Why does he incarnate? We saw all these things. Right? How to get an accurate understanding? By reading what the Lord has told us. He has cleared so many misconceptions. If you properly read the Bhagavad Gita, you will understand that the caste system is not based on birth. It's based on guna and karma. It's based on one's quality. Gunas, qualities, and his interest or his work or occupation. That's the caste system. And all paths go to the same destination, which is back to Godhead. So the 3 types of karma, akarma, and vikarma we saw, and surrender. What is surrender? Why do we need to surrender to the Guru? What's the importance of learning from a Guru? Who can or cannot achieve this eternal knowledge? This is all that we have seen in this chapter. Thank you everybody for patiently listening. I'd like to conclude with this Maha Mantra that has come through the disciplic succession to us, and I'd like you all to repeat it with me. If you're comfortable, please put your videos on and repeat it with me. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So why are we repeating this mantra? Where can we verify this? Even in the Kali Santarana Upanishad, apologies for the script, it's called Kali Santarana Upanishad. So Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. These 16 names, composed of 32 syllables, are the only means to counteract the evil effects of the Kali Yuga. In all Vedas, it is seen that to cross the ocean of nations, there is no alternative to the chanting of the holy name. Like I said, it's like an SOS call. You're calling out to Krishna that we are trapped. We need help. And the more you call, the louder you call, the faster you will get help. Right. That's about this mantra. Thank you all. And I'd like to end the session with a prayer, and we'll come to your question and answers after that. Okay. Ancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, we are now getting on to the questions and answers. I understand a lot of you have time restrictions. So if you have to leave, I'm absolutely okay with that. If you have questions, I'm very happy to take your questions right now for the next 10-15 minutes. Okay, right. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And I see questions in the chat box. Thank you, Saumi. Okay. Thank you, Arushi. Kartike, it would be akarma by accepting that it was God who gave the 10 pounds to the child and not the person himself. Okay. Okay. So God, okay. Does karma impact the body or the soul? Okay, okay, right. So first Kartike's question, and I think Kartike had several other questions before the quiz. Okay. What if you believe that you are doing something for the bad, but in reality you're doing it for yourselves? Example, the military ordered a soldier to kill a terrorist, but he enjoys killing the terrorist. Doing something for God, right? See, he enjoys it, that's different. But who is he working for? He's still working for the army, isn't it? The soldier who is working for the army, he kills a enemy terrorist. Let's say, sorry. So he's still working for God, although he has his component of enjoyment, but he's still discharging his duty. So he will still be freed of the effects or the results. Okay, he enjoys it, but I mean, he didn't do it for his own happiness. He did it to discharge his duties, isn't it? So he will be free from the results. It is still a karma. So that's the answer to your first question. Then Kartikeya has asked, it would be akarma by accepting that it was God who gave the 10 pounds to the child and not that person himself. But here the person's intention also gets counted. That's what I tried to explain, right? So the person is now saying that, God gave the 10 pounds to him, he gave it to the child. That means God gave it to the child. But he did it because he got some happiness out of it. He wanted to show people that he's donating this 10 pounds to this child. Then out of what motive is he doing it? It's true. God only gave us all the, all food to eat, the money, the place to live, this earth, oxygen, everything. So, but does that mean that we take that in this example? It's true. What you're saying is correct. But the 10 pounds he gave to that child, but what is his intention? Whether he wants his own happiness or whether he is really concerned about the child and helping the child out. That's what matters. If he's really concerned about the child and helping the child out, it is akarma. He's doing it for himself, for a show, to display to everyone that he's been giving in charity. And that is karma. He's still done a good deed, he'll get the good results. But he has to bear those good results. Right? Okay, and the next question by Harsha. Does karma impact the body or the soul? Okay. Does anybody want to answer this? What gets impacted by karma? Doing a good deed with selflessness, offering that deed to God, doing it as a duty towards God or as an offering for God is karma. Kartikeya. Okay. So doing a seemingly bad deed also. Now killing the terrorist, killing is considered a bad deed. But you're killing a terrorist because you're employed by the army. So now it's a good deed. That's how it works. If you're doing it as a duty for God, if somebody is killing a miscreant who's trying to vandalize a temple, who is trying to kill the pandits in the temple, so what do you think? Is it vikarma or is it Kartikeya? Can you put it in the chat box? What do you think the answer should be? It's a karma because it's his duty to protect, isn't it? That's how it works. It's all about understanding this whole concept, like Lord Krishna himself has told, even for intelligent people, it's very confusing. They get bewildered by this concept of karma. The only takeaway from this whole chapter is it is possible to be freed from the reactions of our own actions. And how can that happen? When we dedicate all our actions and offer it to God and do it as a duty towards God, rather than something to satisfy ourselves. Everyone starts with satisfying ourselves only, and it's fine if we start there. Eventually, we'll progress further. But what will help us progress further is the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master. It's important to accept a spiritual master. Okay, how does karma impact the body or the soul? This is a very interesting question. I'd like responses on the chat box. What do you guys think? Does karma impact the body or the soul? Soul, Pranav says soul. Okay, Kartikeya, soul. Indumati also says soul. Both. Prashant says both. Kumarji also says soul. It's a very, very, very interesting question because karma influences. What was the definition of karma that I told you? Can somebody remember? What's the definition of karma that I told you? What's the effect of karma? So you will get your answer to this question there through the definition of karma that I gave on the slide. I can show that to you again. Give me a second. I'm going to quickly run through to that slide. Okay. Body and soul. Yeah, I think Lalita auntie is saying both body and soul are influenced by karma. Okay. I'll share the screen and show you that slide. Okay. Just give me a second, please. What is happening? Okay. 1 second. I'm really stuck in sharing screen. Anyway. So I'm going to go back to the definition. Yeah. Can you see this? Now do you want to see the definition and then answer the question again? Yes, perfect, Harsha. Is it this action pertaining to the development of material bodies of the living entities? So what does karma actually do? What's the result? Action pertaining to the development of material bodies of the living entities. As a result of these actions, we get trapped in the Janma Mrityu, the cycle, chakra, or the wheel of birth and death. So that those actions which make us trapped in the wheel of birth and death and keep giving us material bodies again and again, those actions come under the karma, which is karma and vikarma, okay, not akarma. Akarma will free us from the reactions, isn't it, of actions. But karma and vikarma come under this definition, where we get constant material bodies. So you tell me, who is affected now? It's still confusing. Is it the soul? Chachi Raval says karma affects the soul. Maybe it then affects our physical body as well. Karma, actions, thoughts, soul, and body. Practical aspect. So if you see the actual properties of the soul, if you go back and see, it's pure consciousness. It's indivisible. It's unaffected by anything. So does karma affect the soul? Do you want to answer it now? No. If I had to answer it, the answer would be no, karma does not affect the soul. It affects our mind, intelligence, and false ego, which is our subtle body. Okay, as long as the soul is covered by the subtle body and the gross body, both subtle and gross bodies will be affected by the effects of your karma. But the soul itself, which is pure consciousness, and it's a part of God, it remains unaffected by karma, just like God remains unaffected by karma. As long as the soul is embodied by either subtle or gross bodies, has to undergo the effects of karma. Right? I know it's little difficult to understand, but this is how it is.
Does it make more sense to look at it this way? It's like your soul is accompanied by a layer of effects, let's say after death, that has the